Hi and welcome to the Forest of Arden. My name is Chris Ryan. Today we're talking all about the strike on your clubs from the fairway, and I'm going to show you the 3 most common reasons that you'll be hitting the ground before the golf ball. Welcome back to the Forest of Arden. My name is Chris Ryan, and in this video I'm going to show you 3 reasons why you might be hitting the ground before the golf ball. Now, if this video doesn't apply to you, if you are not that golfer, if you are the golfer who is topping or thinning your iron shots, I did post a video 2 days ago with the same topic, 3 reasons that you may well be topping or thinning your iron shot. So I will link that up in the corner here. Head over and watch that if this video is not really applicable to you. However, if you are that golfer who is hitting the ground before the ball, we're going to show you 3 reasons why that might be happening, and therefore 3 fixes for that. Now, many of the golfers who are hitting the ground before the ball have actually got the same faults as the golfer who is thinning or topping the golf ball. They can very much be related. If you can imagine, if you are topping or thinning the golf ball, you appreciate that that strike isn't quite right. You're trying to get that club lower or more down or more under the golf ball, and then we can start hitting the ground before the ball. So there's definitely this almost kind of this vicious circle we see golfers going around, where they top the ball, they try and get the club lower, they hit the ground early, and they kind of struggle to find that middle ground where that strike is as we want it. So let's go through the 3 reasons that you might be hitting the ground before the golf ball. So number 1 could be that the ball position is played too far forward in your stance. I have got a golf swing, or you will have a golf swing, where the club makes a circle around the body, and that golf club is going to bottom out, give or take, pretty much underneath the buttons on your shirt. It's not going to be exact. I appreciate that it's actually going to be slightly forward of the buttons, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to say that the bottom of your circle is where your buttons are. So if I place the ball too far forward here, what can happen, and we said this in the video a couple of days ago, is that the golf club will reach the bottom of its arc and begin to work upwards and hit the Try that one again. The golf club will reach the bottom of its arc, and as it hits the golf ball, it's begun to rise and it catches the top of the golf ball. Got there in the end. So the low point being too early can cause the club to catch the top of the golf ball. If I do catch the top of the golf ball, I do that a couple of times. I appreciate that's going to be too low in the club face. What do? I try and lower the golf club. When I lower the golf club, I'm going to be lowering my circle. And when I lower my circle, it suddenly enters the ground back here somewhere. So therefore, I'm that golfer who's gone from that thin or that top shot to hitting the ground way, way before the golf ball, but it's the same fault. I'm just trying to apply the fix, which is the wrong fix for what I'm trying to do. So if I've got the ball too far forward, I can thin or top the golf ball, absolutely. But if I'm trying to get the club lower than that, I can easily get the club into the ground early. And if you are that golf ball, if you are that player who is hitting the ground before the ball through this fault, it's almost going to be very, very difficult for you to get the perfect strike. You're just going to spend your time from going thin, fat, thin, fat, thin, fat, because when that ball is too far forward, it's incredibly difficult to get that perfect strike. So check your ball position if you are hitting the ground before the golf ball. Number 2 reason that you could be hitting the ground before the golf ball is that when you're hitting the golf ball, you do not have enough weight on your lead side. When we don't have enough weight on our lead side, we struggle to get our low point target side of the golf ball. Target side of the golf ball is where the low point will be for the majority of the golfers that you will see on TV, LPGA Tour, European Tour, PGA Tour, these fantastic golfers that we see. Their low point will be target side of the ball when they're hitting the ball from the ground. If you have not got enough weight forward, you cannot get your low point enough forward, you may well be appreciative that you need to hit the ground. When you haven't got your weight forward and you try and hit the ground, guess what happens? We land the club some 3 to 4 inches before the golf ball. So you need to ensure that you are shifting your pressure onto your lead side when you make contact with the golf ball. We would tend to like to see about 80% of your pressure on your lead side when you're striking the golf ball. I appreciate that's going to be a very difficult number for you to try and work towards when you haven't got any device to measure it, but it's a great kind of visual to try and say, okay, well, from the top, I've got to get 80% of my weight or my pressure into that lead side. That's going to help me strike the ball and then the turf. I've said this numerous times in these videos, but if you are striking the ground before the ball, you're not far away because we want you to make contact with the ground. That's a good thing. It's just in the wrong place. If it's in the wrong place, we can change that. We can either move forward, or we can move the ball further back. We can do a couple of things to change that. The final reason that you could be hitting the ground before the ball, and this one is quite uncommon, so it might not be you, but let's go through it. It could well be that you're just losing your levels on the dowswing. By that we mean that you could be moving very much towards the ground and then you're not extending up. As you can imagine, if I move towards the ground and don't extend up, I'm going to get the ground far too early. Now, I say this is uncommon because if we look at the elite golfers, we very often see them lose some height in the downswing. You know, Tiger's probably the best example of this. He's not the only one that does it, but he's probably the most high profile one. He loses a bit of height. Rory will do it as well. Rory McIlroy loses a bit of height. What they do very well is once they've lost a little bit of height to start down, they start to, with their hips and their legs, they start to extend out of the golf ball this way. That allows them to strike the golf ball. If you are like Rory and Tiger, I'm sure you are, and you lose a little bit of this height to begin down, but never really extend the body, then you're going to get the ground heavy. So if you feel like you are, well, if you feel like that's you and you've videoed yourself and you are losing a little bit of height and you're hitting the ground before the ball, don't necessarily stop losing that height. Just focus more on actually from this last parallel here, trying to sort of push up and out into your finish. Feel like you're using your lower body and your legs and you're trying to almost push yourself up out to the target. Okay, so it's that feeling of going from low to high. That's going to help you with that strike. So don't necessarily try and move away from the ground too soon, because that's almost going to be worse for you. Doesn't matter too much if you're losing a bit of height, but if you're not getting rid of that through impact, then yes, you're going to hit the ground before the golf ball. So let's go ahead and hit this one. Generally my strike's not too bad with irons. I get the odd thin one, but let's see if we can kind of put this one down the middle of this 16th fairway. And right on cue, a little bit thin. It's not too bad. It was only maybe a groove too low, so I wouldn't be too unhappy with that. Certainly didn't hit the ground before the ball. So if you have watched these two videos, you may well be realizing there's a lot of things that are very similar in these videos. If we start to get the ball position incorrect, we start to get the weight distribution incorrect, we can unfortunately hit both thin and fat shots out on the golf course. And it's really this kind of this vicious circle, as I said, where we kind of try and flick between the two to try and find that happy medium, and we often struggle. So check your ball position, check your weight distribution at impact, and hopefully if you can do those things, you'll strike the ball much, much better. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that was helpful to you. Usual stuff, as always, is down below. Comments box, like button, and right over there is a button with my logo. Click that and it'll allow you to be a free subscriber of the channel. I would love to have you along for the journey. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you back here again soon.